Welcome to Park Place Studio.
Thank
Bradley.
you. Park Place.
Park Place Studio. We
That's
named it
where we
that
are today. Yes.
because that's what it's called because
Yes.
it's called, that's what the building's called. So
In
we decided
1992, when it was built, this was the Park Place of Langley.
Really, 1992?
downtown.
You think that early? I think it is earlier. I feel like this is the 70s. I don't know.
It was about the hype of Monopoly, I would say.
Yeah.
It's kind of like
oh yeah,
nobody
that's true.
plays that anymore, you know.
Yeah.
Like, we've got video games now.
When people went Monopoly crazy, remember
Yeah.
the did you ever play the one for McDonald's?
Oh, absolutely.
Remember,
Yeah.
I was
yeah.
I played the shit out of that. And hi everybody. Okay, sorry. Hey everybody, welcome to the show. I'm Adam Zed. I'm here with
Bradley.
we're bringing the first episode of my podcast, or I guess it's our podcast technically because we're doing it together. But I guess I'm the host. Welcome, Bradley.
Thank you.
We're talking about Monopoly. He was just talking about, you used to play the McDonald's one. I used to play that one.
So I won. There was a thing when you got the first three properties in. I can't remember what they're called, but you know the cheap ones are like $60.
Baltic Avenue and like the purple ones.
Mediterranean Ave.
Yeah.
Well,
okay.
anyways, I got those the first year the thing came out, and I won. I think it was like maybe a Sega Dreamcast or a Sony something or other.
No
it was
way.
a handheld video game system,
No way.
like a Game Boy, but it wasn't Game Boy. But I never sent in
Game Gear.
something
Was it
like
Game Gear?
it might have been a
Okay.
Game Gear. Yeah, it was
Okay.
something like that. But I
Yeah.
never sent the things in. I never actually claimed the prize,
You never.
but I had it.
You had it.
Yeah.
I think I won something like that. I'm from the generation that kids still drank Kool-Aid, which was just pure. Do kids still drink Kool-Aid? I don't know.
I don't think it's cool.
It's not as cool as it doesn't aid in the coolness as it once did.
Kids are crazy. They think it's AIDS or something.
It's AIDS. AIDS. I don't know. AIDS has really taken a back seat lately. I haven't heard much from AIDS. You know, I mean, I'm sure it's a problem, but it doesn't like in the 80s. That shit was everywhere. Basketball players were getting it.
Yeah, I heard on the news the other day. I think there was a fourth person cured of AIDS. I think I heard on the news. Yeah. I
Wow.
think they're pretty close to a cure for it, for some form of AIDS. I think there's several different AIDS's.
Yeah,
AIDS,
really?
apostrophe.
There's eight. Wow, that would suck to get the one that they didn't have the cure for. Which is just like, oh yeah, sorry. Oh, which one was that? Oh man, sorry to everybody who had AIDS. But oh man, how do you? I guess you get AIDS from your mom having it, or you having sex with
Sharing needles.
sharing needles. Oh yeah, there you go.
Sharing
Yeah.
needles.
I seem maybe I'm a little too pure-hearted. I didn't even think about that. I
Yeah.
don't even think about that. I share needles all the time, and I don't even think.
It's
about
also if you use too many Groupons, you'll
Yeah?
also get it. Yeah. So I cut out coupons altogether when I found that out.
it. You got rid of them.
Yeah, it was a little embarrassing anyways at the till.
When I worked in Toronto, I worked at this like wings restaurant, and the Groupon people were just the most horrible people. they would come in and like order like one drink and have exactly what was on the coupon, like exactly like, you know, I mean, not even like a fries or coleslaw, you know,
Yeah.
we charge so much for it, but whatever. And then they just like fuck off and then ask for like, and then drink waters, and you're like, what is going on? So my boss fucking hated it. They're a weird company though. They've got like there's some shady business going on in the back.
Yeah, I don't know. I have a friend who's actually just like what you described.
Really?
On my YouTube channel, there's Uncle Wally, who's actually an ex-employee of mine. His name's Walter Steele, and call her like girlfriend, but they don't breed. You know what I'm saying? they're like two mentally challenged people. Walter is not mentally challenged. He's got concussion problems. He's got like the brain of a 14-year-old.
That sounds
He
fun.
nearly died. Yeah, so he's like. He seems like he's mentally handicapped and drunk all the time because he's drunk all the time. And Colette she's got the IQ of about like a common house cat, you know, about it. You know, knows where to go to the bathroom, knows where to get the food, but it's kind of about it, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's rich. she looks like a homeless person. She eats at the food bank. She goes to all these free things with the homeless people to get free food, and she's got hundreds of thousands of dollars. She's got a house that's fully paid for. She's actually probably got in the low millions of dollars.
Wow.
Because her brother died. She paid off her house 3 years ago.
Yeah.
In Abbotsford that she bought for like $89,000 25 years ago.
Jesus.
That's now worth like $700,000 or $800,000. And her brother just up and died, and she got all the money from the sale of his house, all his savings, all his insurance money, because he wasn't sick. He just went out.
Really?
Yeah.
Just a brain aneurysm.
Right before COVID. I'm not even sure. Yeah,
Wow.
He sold his Sea-Doos, his snowmobiles, his farm, truck, his cars. It was all paid for.
Wow.
She got a ton of money from that. It just sits in the account.
Well, that's sad. Maybe her brother was a nice guy. He seemed to be very wealthy, you know.
Yeah. Well, she's great. She's a really nice person.
She's living the dream now.
Yeah, not really. You'd have to meet her.
Yeah, I mean, she's living her. I mean, that's a pretty good situation.
Yeah.
For someone in that position to end up in, you know what I mean? Like
I guess so. Yeah, sure. Yeah.
You know, like Christopher Reeves, Batman, right?
Mm-hmm.
He got in an accident, and I feel really bad for him. That's horrible, right? But he had millions and millions of dollars, right? Like he did not want Christopher Reeves did not have to wait for his diaper to be changed. You know what I mean? But like
no
people that don't get any money, it can be extremely hard, right? So I mean, this cat-brained woman you speak of, and her, it sounds hilarious.
Yeah. Oh, it is. You just got to meet him. They're just absolutely hilarious.
Like they're just living in this castle. Or this big house, or
no? It's a condo.
Oh right.
It's a condo, yeah. No. Walter doesn't live there though. Walter lives in a trailer with no power, and candlelight and flashlights, and no like furniture or anything. It's just plywood inside, like things that
He lives like a dog. Does he have a dog?
Yeah. No, he has 2 cats.
Oh.
Yeah. But Walter's the nicest person on the planet, unless he's drunk. And he's extremely racist. He's extremely prejudiced, and he's.
And how did you meet these people?
Walter, he got a job on one of my job sites. I hired him.
What do you do? Well, let's talk about Brad here.
Sure.
I mean, that's nice. These extra people that you're trying to smoke screen us with over here. where were you born, Brad? Where were you born?
Right here in Langley.
Right here in Langley. That's beautiful.
It says Murrayville right on my driver's license.
Right.
Yeah.
And then how have you gotten to here? Give us a little bit of a synopsis.
Well, I moved to Aldergrove when I was, I think, about 3. I was in Aldergrove till I was 12, moved to Prince George for a year, back to Aldergrove till I was about 20, almost 30. Went to Alberta for a year, then 100 Mile House, and then back here. I've been in Abbotsford since.
There you go.
Yeah.
How was
Aldergrove.
What were you doing 100 miles? How old were you then?
100 Mile House. I was there because I tore my arm apart. You can see the big scar.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I tore my arm up at work with I built greenhouses, and a big chunk of greenhouse glass ripped my arm apart. So my arm was in a cast like this for 8 weeks.
Wow.
So we went up to the family cabin and just chilled out there.
Yeah.
Because I had to go to physiotherapy, and actually the best physiotherapist was in Kamloops.
Yeah.
So it was only 110 kilometers from our cabin, so I just went to the cabin and went back and forth every week for like 9 months or something.
Wow.
Pretty long.
Jeez.
Yeah. Cut all the tendons to my arm.
Ooh.
Turned to my fingers. So.
That's happened with aluminum siding. You ever know that?
Yeah.
Like coming down from a couple stories and just katana slicing someone's arm off.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, it's dangerous business.
Yeah.
So was that the end of greenhouse installation?
No, that was just closer to the beginning. I guess I've done greenhouse stuff since I was 18.
There you go.
And I'm 43 now, so. But in the middle, I was a heavy-duty mechanic when there was just no market for greenhouse stuff. And kind of 2006 when the market kind of crashed. 08. Yeah, I was a heavy-duty mechanic for 7 years, wrenching on excavators and dozers and stuff, and off-highway stuff.
And that brought you more happiness or less happiness?
Less happiness, more money. Actually, it's great money. But,
okay.
yeah. it gets tiring after a while. You're literally working by yourself in the forest with no people. You know.
Oh, with the big rigs or the
Yeah.
with
With the big piece of equipment.
Yeah, wow.
And welding or wrenching or whatever you're doing, but yeah, it just gets tiring. You like see other people sometimes, you know.
So okay, so what is that? I mean that's crazy. So what would that entail? So I call, hey, my dozer. I was trying to knock down some precious redwoods. so the pristine. I had to put the pipeline through here. So I was just midway through pipeline digging, and my machine breaks down. And and then they send you just like fucking Rambo up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. They just
I figure out what's wrong with it and get the parts to fix it, or fix it if it's possibly able to be fixed there.
Do you see any like bears or wildlife?
Oh yeah. Bears almost all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, because sometimes I'd be like 30, 40 kilometers into the bush, like in Spuzzum, you know, or in quite often I'd be in the backside of Harrison, 25, 30 kilometers up there.
And what are they doing up there? What are those?
It's mostly logging machines.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, logging machines, guys developing properties,
Mm.
lots of skidders, dozers, excavators, things like that.
Do they do logging kind of like hidden, like behind the mountain? Like, do they do logging on the side that you don't really see?
Yeah.
Like, I was just wondering, because like from the highway you see like sometimes you see clear cut areas, but then you're like, well, I don't know, those are from a long time ago, right?
Yeah.
Like, do they drive just out of view? Is that help them like? I don't know.
Well, they don't. I think it's government contracts that are put out, so the government kind of deems where it's safe to be logging and what was planted when and whatever.
Yeah.
But it's all over the place where we can see it and where we can't see it.
There's huge money, right? There's.
I would think so. They're still doing it, so
I
making stuff out of wood.
No, it was nuts. I went up to Prince George on a business thing, and I drove by like just mills, like wood mills and wood mills and wood mills, just wood just like pumping out. I was just like, that's crazy. Liquor stores and wood mills. That's what I saw up there. It was like, and liquor stores with like signs, just like giant signs. You know what I mean? Like highway street signs, but it's on top of the building. It's on top of like the liquor store, and like so you can see it from like 4 miles away. It's fucking insane.
Yeah, if you lived there, you'd understand why they're all there.
Right. It's true. Well, yeah.
I lived in Prince George in grade 7 and 8. First day I was there, they challenged me to a fight. And I didn't have a choice. It was just you're fighting, and here's a guy, and that will gauge your, place in the hierarchy in the class, in the school, right? Yeah.
And what grade were you? Grade 8?
7.
Grade 7? Yeah. Wow. So you've moved around a lot as a kid, or
not as a kid.
No.
More as an adult. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, but you were in school when you were up in Prince George.
Yes.
Right? Okay.
Yes.
And what were you doing up there? What was
my parents got a job. They worked in the safety industry.
Oh, right.
And they got a job up there, both at the same place. And that place, after like 6 months of them being there, folded.
Oh.
And then they were kind of stuck there, and there wasn't much economy, so we moved back fairly soon after that.
It's a weird place up there. It's like a weird tree desert. If that is it's just nothing but trees, or like when you're up in the winter, everything's dead. It's crazy.
Yeah, I remember being like just at like a gas station or the mall or whatever, and just watching like a moose walk through the parking lot. Not hurting anyone, nobody bothering it, just walking through.
That's true. Yeah, they have such big game up there, such a giant, and I mean, what is doing that? I keep hearing something's going.
Is it a quacking noise?
I think it keeps saying something. It keeps saying that is easy.
What?
That was easy.
Yeah, that. What is that noise? Oh, there we go. That
was easy.
Yeah, you can put it on the table. That's fine.
There you go.
I kept hearing it in your pocket.
Oh, really? I didn't hear it once.
Really?
No.
Oh, I thought I was going nuts. Okay. Well, there you go, guys. Back at Mystery Solved. Good work, Mystery Team.
I used to date a nurse back in the day, and she was a squirter. And I got one of these, and I went down on her till her crotch exploded. And then I rolled over in the couch and reached under the pillow and hit the.
That was easy.
and laughed my head off. Oh my god!
That sounds
I was
amazing.
in tears. She was so mad, but I couldn't stop laughing. It was so funny.
So what did you like? What and then after that, what's is that her role to take care of the flooded sheets, or are you?
Yeah, no, that was she was always on there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's okay. So she was, because I've had it to me. It happened by accident, and I didn't know that you. And I was like, this is disgusting. Like, like I wasn't at like a hotel or something. Like this was the bed that I slept on every night, and it happened. I was just like, oh man, like that's soaking through. Like I got this bamboo sheet cover thing.
Yeah.
Just do it, dudes. And then I once I spilled coffee on my bed too, so it saved me from that too.
Right.
So it's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
But yeah, it's good if you know, I think, but like to surprise somebody with that, like you meet some lady at the bar, or you know.
Yeah, I've had it happen a couple times that it wasn't unannounced. First time being there, first time in town, and just bam, like whoa, didn't expect that.
Yeah, you're
so you're done. There's no faking it at that point,
I mean that's true.
Yeah.
Well, I mean unless you just wanted to pee in your face, like
Wow.
unless you're some weird masochist or sadist and was just like, what if I just peed on this bed? I don't know this guy. Who knows? But yeah, that is a nice. It's hard to take her word for it sometimes. You know what I mean? You're just like she's like yeah, totally. You're like did you though? Did you? You sure? No, I mean every time, like not every most of the time, but like did you know?
I faked my way out of a couple of them.
I have fake.
I faked my way out of a couple of places
Yeah.
I didn't want to be.
I know, right? I was just like, there's nothing that well is dry.
Yeah.
There's nothing to go out of there.
Yeah.
So, you were fighting people in Prince George,
Yeah.
and then you went, and then you came back to Langley,
Yeah.
and then you went to high school here, middle school here, or what?
I went to high school in Aldergrove.
In Aldergrove.
Yeah.
And what was that like? Well, it was the same kind of blood in, blood out situation in
Not
school.
really. No, it's pretty tame.
Yeah,
Yeah, a few fights, nothing major.
that's nice.
Normal. I
Okay.
raced BMX as a kid a lot, so I was kind of there's only like 6 guys that rode bikes, we were kind of like the BMX gang.
Oh, that's cool.
Not like a gang, not at all, but yeah, we didn't do much
So
else.
you weren't in a gang?
I
Because
wasn't really
a
in a
BMX gang would be pretty cool.
BMX gang would be pretty sweet. Like,
Right? You'd all be
but-
super fit and shit.
Yeah. Yeah, we definitely were fit.
Yeah, there you go. Cool. So that must have been very fun. That must have been BMXing. Did you do anything professional with that?
Not professionally, no. No, always amateur. Professional is pretty tough in BMX. Very few people make it. Like maybe 2, 3 per province, or maybe even the country.
Oh, really?
It's an Olympic sport, but there's not, like, Canada only has, I think, 2 people represented.
Of like
Yeah.
$5. We'll fly you there. That's
Yeah.
the best we can do.
Yeah, here's
Oh,
2
Canada.
Cliff Bars and
Yeah.
free ticket.
And a jug of maple syrup. There you go. Spread it around.
Yeah.
That's so okay. And so then then you decide to go into greenhouse building.
Yeah.
Traveling everywhere around BC, building greenhouses.
Yeah.
You are severely maimed by one,
Yeah.
starting off.
Yeah.
Which to most people you think they'd thrown the towel.
Well, yeah, probably.
Yeah.
That's kind of all I knew, so.
That's true. You were
out of high school, that's what I did, right?
no.
So.
You didn't want to go into higher education. You were kind of
No, I wasn't really good with education. I mean, I could have been, but it just wasn't for me.
yeah no.
I'd rather work.
Yeah.
But
That's a lot of people, though, right?
yeah.
That's very. I mean, now we hope it's more people because everybody wants to get tech jobs, and now with ChatGPT, nobody needs. They don't need those people anymore. I guess I don't know.
I haven't turned that one on yet, but people have made some pretty funny things out of that real quick.
Yeah, hasn't it? That's crazy. My brother wrote us a script, like a 3-page script, and just like had like 5 write a script about me and him and it has to be funny and it's tragic at the end, and it was like a decent it was better than some stuff I saw on like CW, like some scripts for like, you know, like DC. Yeah, it's so nuts. That's so nuts.
Well, that's pretty cool, but pretty scary as well.
Yeah.
I'm sure it can be used for evil.
Yeah, I mean, I hope it's used for evil. It's, you know what I mean?
Well, if it's used for evil, it should be able to also be used to fix whatever it created then, right?
You'd have to create like two different.
You have to connect the Chat GPT to the Tesla robots and tell them what to do.
The Tesla robots.
Wait till there's a Tesla robot army, and then you can just use Chat GPT or whatever it's called. Get your own Tesla robot and just tell it what to do.
Elon Musk is that is a very good example, I think, of like our society right now. You know what I mean? Just like, he's a billionaire, right? So like, it doesn't matter about any of this shit, and that he's just like controlling the means of communication, like, or was for, you know what I mean? Twitter for a lot of people was, don't you think that's kind of weird that a billionaire is controlling like the mean? I mean, I guess they did before, just not as overtly, right? Not as like.
Well, I think him owning actually is a good thing, because he's bringing to light what it actually is like. Without him owning it, we would have known nothing about the FBI paying all these social media companies to shut the hell up about whatever they want them to shut the hell up about. So I think he's good to expose that and keep it on a fair playing field. I mean, even like with our comedy thing we do in Langley, I open it up to everybody. I don't want, even if I agree with shit that comes out of people's mouth, I still think they need to have a voice and an opinion and a fair playing field. It's the way it is. It's the way it should be to me.
Yeah, I think I'm 100. I'm a free speech. I kind of hate it because even saying it now, people misunderstand, and like the fact that free speech has been a right wing thing just kind of blows my mind. Like.
Mm-hmm.
Like, right, looking for free speech is a right-wing thing now? Like, that's so crazy.
Yeah.
That seems like the most left thing possible. Like, that seems like that's what we're all about, but it's just a different... But again, right, everything's about balance, right? As soon as one side lets up, like, the religious people always got, like, Jesus, right? That's telling us what to do. Like, Jesus from fucking... Jesus of Nazareth, he's fucking knows what's up, and he's still telling us what to do from fucking 3,000 years ago. So if we give them too much free speech, then they just fucking talk about that shit all the time. And if we let the left, talk too much, then we're, lost in a sea of sex.
Yeah,
strange.
But if you think like, back even 50 years ago when we were still a Christian-based society, families weren't breaking apart all the time, hardly ever.
Yeah.
It was pretty rare to know a kid, like I'm born in 1980, it was pretty rare to know a kid that had a divorced parents growing up in school. Like, we didn't have very many at all. Like, that was our white privilege. We had our dads at home. And they don't have that these days.
That's crazy.
And I've contributed to that myself. Twice.
I think it's just the economy just sucks, man. I think people are just fighting about money. I think they're just like... Now both people have to work. Like when
yeah, but
both
it's totally
people didn't.
different. It's totally different.
What do you mean?
Well, you think if both people have to work, no problem. Both people have to work because 80% of marriages or 60% of marriages are separate. People are just breaking up and living on their own. Yeah. So now, like, my family needs 2 homes. You don't think about it. It's a real problem in society, but people don't think about it. They're just like, oh no, I don't. We grew apart. Like. Well, shit, you fell in love to begin with. You used to, what the heck, try to rekindle it, work it out, right?
That's true.
People need to fight harder. Like with my daughter, she's 15, and her and her boyfriend broke up like 2 weeks ago. And I said, Jenna, you need to have a real conversation and fix whatever the problem was, because you just don't go boyfriend to boyfriend to boyfriend to boyfriend because, he said something you disagreed with or you said something he disagreed with. It's okay to disagree. It's okay to have different opinions. You just need to talk about it and work it out. You don't just love somebody and then fall out of love with them because they said something you didn't like.
That's true. I agree with that. But she's 15.
That's right. But
so I think she's gotta. I think you gotta figure out what you like, because what I liked when I was 15 is not the woman that I thankfully ended up with, because she would look like, you know, Sid Vicious's, what's her name, the chick she killed, Sid Vicious's girlfriend. Like I would be dating some like chain smoking punk chick if I was with the same chicks that I was dating when I was 15. So I mean props to them, lovely ladies, but you know what I mean. That's not where I, you know what I mean, kind of, you know what I mean? I don't know. Like that's an interesting thing. So you are just, so what happened with
They got back together. They had a conversation.
That's good, but
We
what
got back
happened
together.
with you and the women that you ended up? How come you? What can you work it out?
Well, you know, I've suffered
What
with
happened,
PTSD most of my life, and
What would that be happening from?
well, just from the childhood, you know.
Mm.
Some of the childhoods people have are different. Right?
Yeah.
Mine was, you know, sexually molested as a kid by the family friend and blah 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 for 3 years.
Ooh.
Passed around a sex, you know, trafficking ring and blah blah blah. I was payment. I was debt. I was everything. You know.
At what
Forced-
age? What
forced
age
to
was
rape.
that?
Between I was 10, 11, and 12. So I was raped by older kids, forced to rape younger kids as I got older. It was a cool system.
What?
Yeah, we got a real
What?
cool underground system here in Canada that most people
What
don't know
are
about.
you? Oh, okay. Like I'm glad we didn't bury the lead. Okay, so when did this start? When did this start? If you're okay to talk about it, you did mention it, so
absolutely.
so might as
Absolutely.
well. I mean,
Yeah.
I'd love to bring any sort of, you know, thing to light about this because
yeah.
before we begin, I've never seen stop child trafficking signs in downtown Vancouver.
Yeah,
I never saw those until recently,
yeah.
and now I see trafficking children is illegal and don't like and all like. We have to have, like, when did we put up banners about kids, about not having sex with children? Like, we literally have banners downtown saying don't have sex with children. In Vancouver, British Columbia.
Yeah.
So okay, so let's talk about you, Brent.
1990 is when it started.
1990?
Yeah.
Okay. And you just got brought in, was this at school?
No, it was a friend from my mom's work. One of
Yeah.
her friends, yeah. He had a hockey card business, and I was really into hockey cards. And
Yeah.
everyone's like, "Oh, you could work for him on the weekends," and he sold like hockey cards at the flea market. And
Yeah.
so I said, "It'd start working for him," and yeah, it wasn't long after that they just rope you in. They find the poor kids, the really poor kids, and
Yeah.
they rope you in with money and things, you know, things
Yeah.
you've never seen before, and they make you keep secrets and teach you to lie, and blah blah blah. It's really really cool.
And these are, wow, that's and so and what kind of, and there's a bunch of dudes. Is all dudes? Is all like,
Yeah, they mostly meet in prison. There's a prison called Ford out in, I want to say it's Agassiz maybe or something.
Okay.
Chilliwack, I'm not sure. Maybe Chilliwack. Yeah, they all meet there, and when one comes out of prison, the other people that have homes find a place for them, and they store his stuff and figure out where they can get cash jobs, so they don't have to tell the public who they are.
oh, because if you have a career job, you
You have to tell your neighbors
Yeah.
and all this. So, yeah, so a lot of them already are set up when they get in and out, or they kind of meet each other and network in there.
I thought they killed each other in there. Remember, is that what we all
well,
thought?
in a real prison, but they go to protective custody.
Oh,
Because
okay.
they're special. You know?
Yeah.
And then so the person that did this to me was in prison 4 times. He was a serial sex offender. Like I know of.
And so
at
how
least
was
14
he? So that's
kids.
why he was selling cards, because it doesn't.
Yeah, because it's a cash job.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he'd just do all kinds of different things, do cash work. And yeah, there's several sex offenders that are like go to the flea markets all the time. Cloverdale, Abbotsford.
Wow. I just used to go there to get burned PlayStation games when I was a kid. Like, there was one place I could go to in Abbotsford, and you had like burned CDs, or burned CDs with PlayStation 1 games. Wow. But and so and this one, and you didn't want to step out and talk to anybody, or
Oh, I was too scared. No, they just made you very shameful of it and made it like it's your fault, blah blah blah. And he knew that the person knew that I was really scared of my father. Like, not scared of my father, but I didn't want to disappoint my father.
Yeah.
So he would always just say, "I'm going to tell your father you're fucking this or that or whatever."
Yeah, there's so much shame, right?
Oh yeah.
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 There's so much shame. when it comes to that. That's and okay, and so then it finally stopped.
Yeah, it stopped when I let's just say I aged out, you know.
Really, and then from there you didn't tell anybody, or you
Nope,
went?
I didn't tell anyone until I was about 30. I just kind of broke down after I had my first child.
Yeah.
Yeah, when it really, I think it just put fear in me. Like I gotta protect.
Yeah.
It just kind of tore me apart.
Changes a bunch of shit in your fucking. Your
Yeah,
brain.
yeah, it changes the way you think about everything.
Yeah. That's crazy. Wow, that's and so is this guy still alive? Is he?
No.
No. Well, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good that he's dead.
Can't do that anymore. Yeah.
No, there you go.
Yeah.
That's the child oh man, you don't even think about that stuff, right? Like I don't.
It's so shameful. People don't want to talk about it. It's
Yeah.
funny, like, you know, like a weird stat in Canada, like this is around 10 years ago. 1 in 3 girls are molested by the time they're 16. 1 in 4 boys. So let's just say we have 50% boys and 50% girls. That's 29% of our children are molested by the time they're 16 by a person of power. Like, say, for instance, a babysitter or an adult, a family member, not family member, whatever. By the time they're 16, 29% of our kids at some point are molested. 29% of us can't get together and say enough is enough. Like, there's got to be less.
Well, what do we
shame
do?
around.
What do we do? I mean, I'm from a pretty good family. I think if it happened, like I've had, when I was I had a guy. We were at a baseball game when we were little kids, and we were at one diamond. There's a guy at the other diamond, and he had these playing cards, and it was like rock paper scissors. It was like net axe sword, and we walked over. He's like, "Hey, you want to play a game? I test card games." And it was funny. He was like, "Yeah, I work at I know the guy at the Great Canadian Card Store down in not to." Send any shade at him, but and we're like, oh, that's crazy. And then we were playing the card game. He's like, hey, you want to come and play up at the top there with me? And we were like, no. And like my mom came over and like freaked out. I remember I was like, why is my mom freaking out so much? Because I didn't even think about it. And like, yeah, dude, that's crazy that there's around the edges to scare the shit out of all parents.
Yeah.
Around the edges of everywhere, there are these like fucking crazy predators that like
all the time.
Everybody wants to kill.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
oh. They come in all shapes and sizes. Boy, girl, young and old.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a guy in my ball team that I played ball with for years that was molesting his stepson, a 5-year-old stepson, for 2 years. Just fucking piece of trash. Like, God, they don't think of how much that kid's going to be messed up for the rest of his life unless he gets real help when he's young,
Yeah.
But
so that's the key, you think, getting in there kind of.
I think so. Getting the proper help, talking about it, and being open to talk about it. Like, I know there's lots of kids that I still, not lots of kids, but some people I still see from when I was a kid that were in that, and they will not mention anything. They just say, hey, how you doing? They're too embarrassed, or not embarrassed, but too ashamed probably to talk about it.
Yeah, no, there's nothing. It's in the. I'm the kind of person that lets the past kind of, you know what I mean. And I think that's something that you can. It's possible. I mean, I'm a good example, or I'm my best example. I think that you can move on if you just keep moving on. You keep your eyes towards the horizon and just, you know what I mean. Don't look back. You can get past anything with enough help. You know what I mean. And especially if you don't. Till you get the tools to, if you have enough trauma in your life, you usually get the tools to figure it out. But it takes a lot of trauma to get to that point.
Yeah.
So at 30, after your first child, you had to talk to somebody.
Yeah, I talked to my wife about it, and then my parents and my friends and all that.
Yeah, and have you gotten any like therapy or anything?
Nope.
Really?
No.
Really?
I started helping my friend with his charity for the exact same thing.
Yeah.
And I just talk openly about it. And
what's the charity called?
Man of Hope.
Oh, really? That's friggin'. Man, this episode has definitely been good so far. So you just age out, and then they just left you alone. And they just like
they kind of keep you under their wing in communication, because they don't want you going and tattling on them, right? But this person actually came to me when I was about 20, and put a gun in my hand and wanted me to kill him, but I wouldn't do it because one of another friend that I grew up with had just killed himself because of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. He tried to take him to jail. They didn't have enough evidence because even though the person's already in prison 4 times, and yeah.
Our sentences are pretty lean for we don't in Canada we treat it kind of like a mental illness, right?
Yeah, they kind of let people out on good behavior, and sentences are ridiculous. That was the 4th time, and he was only spent 2 or 2.5 years of a 5-year sentence. That's it.
that's
it.
Carla Hobolka.
The lawyers that represent these people. Gosh.
They must have something. Maybe they do a bargain.
They're not getting to heaven. There's no way. If there's a heaven, they ain't fucking getting in there. They ain't getting in there. Like,
that's insane to get so little time.
It's so hot in here.
Yeah. Imagine having to go home every day to that. I hear
you think like there's people in prison for like pot possession for like 10, 15, 20 years.
Yeah.
And pedophiles that are raping your children. Nothing. That doesn't make sense. Like that person, Jeff, that I was telling you about that was on my ball team, he got like a month or 3 months or 6 months house arrest and an ankle bracelet.
Really?
Yeah. Because they feel that they're not killing anyone, they're not hurting anyone, but what about the 2 friends that I had that have killed themselves already?
Oh, the trauma is so extreme.
That's about like 7% of the kids that I know directly that were involved in that ring. 7 or 8% of them. Well, yeah, about 10% actually.
Yeah?
Are dead already.
Wow.
Didn't make it out of their 20s. One didn't make it out of their teens.
Yeah, that's so rough. That sucks. So that's just so horrible. I get there.
Yeah. And one person caused that.
Yeah.
We could have just killed him. Somebody could have killed him. I could have killed him. But it was damage was done already.
Yeah, right? But you took the...
Oh, I wasn't
going to spend... the good Nico Bellic way, not
I wasn't
going
to spend any time in prison for him. Fuck that.
If someone says, I guess you can't commit suicide... You can commit suicide in this country, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you can commit suicide. What if you're like, this guy's helped me do the suicide?
Well,
I'll do a video. I just want to. I don't want to do like in the bed with the needle. I just want to someone take a couple pot shots in the old dome.
And, exactly.
Fucking being a pedophile. That's just so. I don't know if anybody can explain it. It just kind of goes against a lot of fucking. It's always like. You hear Epstein, right? That's a perfect example. Every single person that not every single person, but like almost their entire list is people that I thought were so cool, that had been to that island.
But I don't understand. Like, I think that's blown out of proportion because you think every person who went to that island wasn't probably fucking a child. I bet you 90% of the people that went to that island didn't know about it. I bet you. I think just because they came there and partied there, like a lot of people have partied at Eminem's house, but that doesn't mean that whatever.
No.
I guess there's no relevant.
No, I understand. I understand. Yeah, they were.
A lot of people have partied at Cosby's house, and didn't rape women.
That's true. And I mean, some of those young actresses, they look like the 18-year-old actresses look like they're 16 anyways. I think that's, you know what I mean? There's a lot of super young, like, if who knows? Like, with the girls nowadays, the way girls can dress and do their makeup in a way that they can look, however old, right? Yeah. So, whatever. It's.
I have a 15-year-old daughter, I get that.
Yeah, that sucks. I saw her Instagram has like 3 photos and she has like 1,500 friends. I have had Instagram for 15 years and don't have that many friends. So if you want to add me on Instagram, plan_Z. But I was like, that's the internet for you. I was like,
Jenna's she's a cool kid.
Yeah, that must be fun as a parent too. Do you have both 2 daughters? A daughter?
Two daughters,
wow. Yeah. And
15-year-old and a 5-year-old.
Nice.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
And you just love being a father.
I do.
Yeah. That's and so what happened with these, so you're currently single.
Mm-hmm.
You're swinging single. What
Yeah,
what
it's
happened?
like
What happened?
They just one of the last one sent me a text message while I was working in Alberta that she doesn't want to be with me because I wouldn't let her have a cat. I'm allergic to cats, by the way, and I wasn't vegan anymore.
Then that's.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. That is reasons, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if those are very good reasons, but those are reasons.
Yeah.
You're allergic to cats? Yeah. I kind of want to get a cat, but I'm afraid my brother's allergic. You know what I mean? It's kind of weird.
I wouldn't do that to him.
Yeah, it's. you can take Claritin, but you don't want to take Claritin every
Why would
fucking
you want
day.
to do that? Just have a fucking shitty, stinky thing that shits in your house all the time? Shits in its fucking garbage shit fucking claws all over your house and it comes and scratches you? Fuck that. The dirty thing out of the house.
It's true they are.
Yeah,
But they
but
the way they move their head, they look like they're smart. They move their head faster than dogs do, and I think we think that means they're smart. I think that, but they're, I don't know, they're always like missing jumps and landing on things and knocking things off cupboards. Yeah, they're super annoying.
I just think that dogs are great, I take my dog to the park and there's people with Down syndrome and I just pull my dog up and he recognizes that something's different about them and he just lay there and let them pet them and kiss them and no cat does that. No cat can bring that happiness to those kids, I don't know. I go to the park with a cat and I can't see a squirrel and go hunt. The cat's not going to know what to do. Cats are stupid.
Yeah,
Ever seen a cat with a mouse? Just plays with it. Like, what's going on?
Yeah, they're very sadistic. They're very sadistic creatures I just, the whole pooping in the house thing just doesn't, you gotta leave an entire room to or a cupboard or something that I just have to have just for this cat that takes a crap.
And all the people that go, oh no, you get better cat litter. No, it still stinks. You still, no humans do that. No, if a dog did that, it wouldn't be acceptable.
That's true.
Teach your cat to go outside.
Or use the bathroom.
Yeah.
Have you seen those?
I've seen cats on the internet that can do that.
Use the toilet.
Yeah.
They gotta make that more accessible or acceptable.
Yeah.
Make some videos about
cat toilets.
Cat toilet. I think if we came to that point where the cat could go in the toilet, you know what I mean? All I'd have to do is flush it every once in a while. Maybe it can learn how to do that. But if that's all, sorry, the cat. That's awesome.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That'd be okay. But till then, I'm with you. I'm not. I wonder if we have a bunch of. I hope we don't have a bunch of cat listeners that are going to be.
I don't know.
But you're okay. You don't need that. You don't need that demographic.
I'm not against the cat people. I'm against the cats.
Yeah, they're just horrible. Any sort of cats, even a giant, a type.
Those are cool. Yeah, those are rad. Yeah, they can kill you.
Yeah, fucking for sure.
But they're not gonna shit in your house. Even if you get one tamed, it ain't gonna shit in the house. It's gonna go outside.
That's
so
true, yeah.
Outside cats are cool. Barn cats are cool.
Yeah,
they don't bother you. They just live around, do their thing, keep the mice at bay.
Those are my favorite type of cats, to be honest. Ones that you don't have to do anything for.
Yeah, exactly.
That's. I'm glad we're on the same page on that.
Yeah.
Cats suck. So, you started a comedy show. Let's get down to recent times.
Sure.
Last 6 months. Okay,
sure.
This is where we are right now.
Yep.
What did you do? Tell me. What did you do? What is Brogan's? Tell me what Brogan's is about.
Well, Brogan's is just a place that I found. I thought was cool. It was by accident. I was waiting to go into a meeting for the Rendezvous to do the Halloween show at Rendezvous, and I was doing some last minute paperwork, and there's a good breakfast place across the street, so that's where I went. And yeah, I was talking to the waitress there, and she's like, "Oh, we do karaoke with the kids." And so I came to karaoke with my daughters, and I said, "Man, you know, like this would be a great place to do comedy." And they said, "Oh no, we don't do comedy because the last person here, said the N-word, and then some other people were talking about people doing mushrooms, and there was little kids in here, and then people were getting mad, and so we don't do comedy here anymore." I said, "Man, that's too bad, because I think comedy's really taken off again, and we don't really have a place to do any comedy east of New Westminster. So on the regular, anyways, the odd thing pops up here and there, but no regular stuff." So they said, "Well, I'll talk to the management and see if there's any chance for comedy." And I got back to them, and they said yes, but it would have to be clean. I said, "Yeah, okay, I'll try to find someone." I found two clean comedians. Just wasn't really going to work out. And I said, and they wanted Tuesday nights, and I said, "Why don't you just give me your Thursday night slot, and I'll do it later on, and you can just let me do regular comedy." And they said, "Okay, we'll give it a try." So yeah, it I think turned out Thursday within the first month was their busiest day of the week, because the sales that were coming in from the comedy show. And yeah, so now we do it every week. We've changed it to a little bit later time, so we don't kind of keep the odd customers that were stragglers that kind of feel kept hostage. Kind of respect that a little bit. They don't want to lose any regular customers, and we don't want that for them. But so it's just a fun place where we can come every week, and all the local comics can come out and have a place to do 4 or 5 minutes, 10 minutes if there's not very many people. And yeah, we're just trying to lift all the locals up, trying to work as a team. And
it's a great place to do some comedy. It looks like a 1950s diner.
Mm-hmm.
It's got that kind of 1950s, which is pretty trippy. I think that's one of my favorite things about doing there is it's kind of throws everything off a little bit. You're like, where am I?
Yeah.
There's not a lot of 50s diner. I mean, it's weird. There are more 50s diners in like the farm areas, which like Maple Ridge. There's a couple 50. There's 50s diners. And then there's
Bobby
this one, and then
Socks.
Bobby Shocks, and then there's one that's kind of in like Mission.
Yeah, Rocco's.
It's but there's none downtown.
Yeah, I don't know.
Is there not really?
It's probably just a cost thing.
Yeah.
It's awfully expensive to rent anywhere to have a restaurant downtown.
That's true. To have like a night, I don't know. It trips me out
like
that they have these 1950s diners that like soon no one will be alive that remembers.
That's right.
That soon it's gonna be like
20 years and
yeah, probably there won't be anybody
diners.
Yeah.
Throwback 80s diners.
So I know I'm getting old is like now they're talking about the 90s all the time. When I was like a teenager, it was all about the 80s, right? And now it's all about the 90s, and I'm like, oh man, the 90s were like, the 90s were great, but they weren't like that great. Like, actually they're pretty great. The 90s.
Technology was getting better and better and better every year.
Yeah, Tamagotchis were everywhere. Jurassic Park movies were good.
Yeah.
Right? Tamagotchis.
You're right. There.
Those little people feeding them their little robotic.
Feeding your little robotic pet.
Would die all the time. Mine would. I didn't feed it right or something, and then I died, and I was just like, fuck this. I was just like, this is too much of my life staring at. You know what I mean? I don't want to spend my life just staring at an LCD screen. Yeah, I feel like I was losing out on the simple things.
Right.
By staring at like a not a calculator.
Yeah.
What was your favorite toy when you were a kid?
Man, we were pretty poor. I didn't really have toys, but my dad loved wrestling. So for like Christmas and our birthdays, we get those rubber wrestlers, those mid 80s rubber wrestlers, LJN wrestlers.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I had a bunch of those. So when I was young, probably till about 10 years old, those were my favorite toys. After that, it was my bicycles.
You were just biking.
Just biking. Yeah.
Your BMX band.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wish I was that healthy. I wish I had found something like that. My brother did. My brother was into the pegs and everything. Remember when that was popular when when people were doing peg stuff.
Cool.
I don't know. I don't see that as much anymore.
Yeah.
Maybe kids are a little too big.
Yeah, street stuff is not as popular. It never was.
Oh really?
It's so cool.
Yeah.
So cool.
But you get in trouble like immediately. I was just like, hey, what's this guy doing?
Grinding on all the city streets.
Yeah.
All the city things.
City things. So you started Brogan's, and there's another. You have another show.
Oh yeah. We
Across the
started
street.
another one.
We have 2 shows. Two
We
wonderful
started
shows.
another one on actually just this Tuesday that just passed was the first one at the Rendezvous Pub in Langley. And we have another one coming up on March 21st, which is 2 Tuesdays from now, or second coming, whatever.
Nice.
At 8:30, and we've got some pretty cool people on that lineup. It's gonna be pretty fun. People from Vancouver are coming out, which is pretty cool because we've had a bit of a time getting Vancouver comics out this way.
It's hard. You have to have a car and everything.
It's hard. You need vehicles. You need it's kind of hard to break into the Vancouver scene. Like, it's a little bit cliquey, obviously, and I look like an outsider, like a redneck, and I'm not, but I look like it. So
yeah, I mean, why would anybody think that a greenhouse builder / heavy machine mechanic is a redneck at all, right?
Of course.
I'd be silly. It did. Yeah, of course the scene's cliquey. Yeah, it's just not enough. I don't know. I guess there's. Somebody's making money. There's.
Yeah. Look, I really, in the Vancouver scene, I love 12 Kings comedy club. It's a little bit wild, kind of like Brogan's. It's just kind of show up and go up, and it's kind of nice. Some cool people there, and you get to see some rad comics go through and working on new stuff. And sometimes they have a little competition on there. I can't remember what they call it, but it's pretty fun. You get to see some pros go through there. And
that's cool. 12 Kings, this show's been going on forever.
Yeah.
It was hosted by Johnny Paul, but I don't think he hosts it anymore.
He's the bartender there, actually.
Wow,
He's the
full
guy
circle.
He closes it down every day. He does a 5 to 10 minute set at the end of every show.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
He's been on the show. He was on a podcast a while ago.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I like Johnny.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So check him out online too, Johnny Paul. Do you have anything on Spotify? So you have your YouTube channel?
Yep.
Where you film these 2 crazy people that have a bunch of money and
yeah, I put up little videos of my dog and my daughter doing silly things, and Uncle Walter, and Colette's not on there yet, but she will be.
She sounds like I'm excited. I would start watching just in anticipation for her.
I just need to learn how to edit a little better, because I can't really put a lot of things Walter says on there because they're just racist, prejudiced, belligerent.
Yeah.
So I've got to learn to work a bleeper, and sometimes it's not that bad. Sometimes if he's below the 12th beer of the day, he's not so bad. If he's above the 12th beer of the day, it's getting a little worse. So that's normally about like 4 o'clock in the afternoon is when he hits probably the first dozen, and.
That sounds like so that's his existence? He's just like so how does he have money?
Welfare.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Welfare doesn't pay that well, though. Oh, unless he owns his trailer or can...
Yeah, he owns his trailer, but he pays a little bit of rent to have it somewhere. And then the rest of the money, goes to cigarettes and booze.
Wow.
And he used to work, but he's been off for a little while. But
oh, yeah. Well, you don't get welfare forever, anybody. So everybody who says you have to get so many hours you have to work to get welfare.
I don't know.
420. You have to work 420 to get enough to get another thing of, you get 6 months or whatever it is. So you have to work 420 hours and then you get 6 months of welfare. Then you work, and then after that dies, you work 420 hours and then you get welfare.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
So it's kind of easy for film people to get it because we work like 12 hours a day. So that's like 70 hours a week almost, right? So then you kind of get it a lot quicker.
Oh,
and then
okay.
so there's a dry spell when you need kind of unemployment to kind of keep you going. To keep me in booze and cigarettes, but yeah, that kind of thing.
Walter smokes the like unregulated cigarettes that float around the black market for cheap.
There you go.
And he drinks black label beer because it's cheap and it's the highest percent. I think it's 8% alcohol or 8.5.
Wow.
Yeah. He doesn't care what it tastes like as long as it's good alcohol.
Yeah, no, of course not. Yeah. No, I met some people that used to drink like that. I met some people, some of my buddies down in Arizona, who lived on the Indian Reserve or the First Nation, or they call them Indians in America, so they would be the Indian Reserve. I think they still call them Indians. I'm sorry if I'm sorry. I think they still call them Indians down there. but he was drinking like 9 point, because it's America, right? So it was like 9.6. It was,
Wow.
yeah, it was nuts. It was nuts. You take a sip of that, you're just like, oh, like, and it's a beer, right? And it was clear. It wasn't like, it didn't have a color. It was like clear. Ugh.
Gross.
And he was chugging them back. He was
Yeah.
enjoying them. Yeah, he's a strong. He's a proud man. I was like, that's
Yeah, I saw my friend Walter. We took a trip to Alberta, and he didn't have any money or beer, and I didn't have a lot of extra money, so I couldn't like just keep feeding his alcoholism.
No.
So he was about 48 hours, maybe 60 hours with no beer, and he was like shaking, convulsing in my truck.
Really?
And after that, I was telling someone about that, and they said, "Oh, he was going through psychosis or whatever." And I said, "Yeah, that's what it looked like." I said, "Yeah, he could have died. I guess you can die from."
Yep. Alcoholism,
about
you
that.
can die from. Yeah.
I didn't know that till just a couple of years ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like he was close to dying. He said, I need beer, I need beer. I had to pull over in Castlegar and get him some beers at Boston Pizza." And then he was fine the rest of the way home, but
Yeah,
he
you
was,
can
like,
you can
freaking
have
out.
really bad. I find drinking is so addictive. Like, yeah, even if I drink for a couple days and then I
Yeah.
don't drink, like I was just at the rugby sevens, right? And I was drinking for a couple days.
Mhm.
After those couple days, you're like, oh man, I could go for another drink. You know what I mean? You just like you just want to keep rolling with it. You're just like, oh yeah, I could go, and then you're just like, oh man, I've drinking too much now. I don't know, like, as I have, my family has the gene. You know what I mean? The gene that like is like, oh yeah, we can keep drinking forever. Like, you know what I mean? Like that, like the worst gene possible. So like, a lot of alcoholism is my family, so I always have to think about that and kind of take a step back. So watch out, kids. Don't drink too much. You'll turn out like me.
Yeah, we had an Uncle Gene. He was pretty bad too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What is he still with us?
Mm.
No.
No.
He drank himself into the grave.
He gone.
Yeah. That's crazy. I heard Bam Margera is. You remember Bam Margera?
Bam, yeah.
Yeah. You remember his Uncle Dito, the fat guy he beat up on a lot, and they like make fun of and kind of harass.
I always thought it was his dad.
No, it was his uncle. No, his dad had the beard. His dad had like the
Okay.
gray beard and was like also very his mom and his dad were pretty round
Right.
dudes. And but Uncle Vito was like the gray haired one. He kind of
Okay.
like,
I'm sure I must have seen
Yeah.
it along the way. Yeah.
he died at 59.
Yeah.
He was also a sexual predator, I found out.
Oh, cool.
I was like, what the fuck? And Bam Margera is like one sexual predator allegation from being exact. Like he's Bam Margera is going to jail now.
Really?
Yeah, he like attacked his girlfriend.
Is that why he wasn't on the last Jackass?
Yeah.
Oh, I knew there was some kind of beef between like some
Oh, it's
people,
gotten really
but I
bad.
didn't really know why. I wasn't certain of it, and I don't like when I don't know. I don't Google them. I just don't care. Like,
No.
you got some beef, whatever.
Sorry to break this to anybody, but yeah, Ben Margera got in. Yeah, he was with Steve-O, was like, hey, because remember Steve-O's did a whole thing about like drugs and stuff, and Steve was doing tons of drugs,
Sure.
and now he's not doing tons of drugs.
That's right.
And so he was like, hey, all like after Johnny Knoxville kind of washed his hands of him because of the Jackass, he couldn't stay sober or sober enough on set, and so Johnny Knoxville, Bam Margera, Steve-O was like, hey, Steve-O, say Bam. Steve-O said, sorry, hey Bam, come on tour with me, and we'll be cool, right? And we'll you can perform or whatever, and it's all part of, we'll have a good time. And I think he was with him for like 2 weeks, and then Steve was like, no man, you gotta leave, or Bam just left because he couldn't
really?
stay sober. Yeah, it sucks. He's like super fat now. I can't like he was a hero of mine. Like when I was a kid, he was, you know what I mean? Like I loved Jackass when I was a kid.
Oh yeah, me too.
We just fucked each other up so bad, and it was
Awesome.
so funny because parents were like, "Oh, you're doing it because of the show." And we're like, "No, totally not." Yeah, we were doing it because of the show. Like right, like
Yeah.
like we were always like, "No, whatever." But yeah, we jumped off roofs and stuff. We would have never thought about that if the kids aren't doing that now. And you know why? Because that's not on TV.
Yeah, exactly. They don't have
Highly-
anyone to look up to.
Right? Exactly. They have no heroes anymore.
Maybe that's why in the last Jackass movie they got some youngsters in there. Maybe they're gonna take over.
Is that what they did? Fucking Johnny Knoxville's body is totally fucked.
Yeah.
He's like a wrestler now.
Yeah. He's been broken
Yeah.
too many times.
Yeah, you can only get like bashed that many times where it actually like causes, because like once you get like damage in deep cartilage grows weird, and like you get all rickety and stuff, and he's not fit. He's got like the James Gunn white hair now. And
that's right. Yeah.
He's, I don't know. I didn't see the latest
I know how that feels. You know.
I think that looks. You've got a good thing going though. It's solid. Your hair did what my hair probably should have with my father and my uncle, because I'm starting to get grayer on the sides, like the Reed Richards thing, but it's not. Yeah. But my dad was gray was your hair color by my age.
Yeah.
36.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, my hair was like yours when I was about 14.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. By the time I was 16, I was definitely gray through the sides here a little bit.
Really?
And by the time I was 20, it was kind of coming up and around. Yeah.
And is your dad the same way?
No, opposite. My dad's hair's, well, it's kind of going gray now, but he's 73. But he doesn't really have any hair on the top. So when he was my age, he was balding already. He was balding quite a bit, and I'm just starting to lose my hair, like just this year.
So you have a little bit.
So next year I'll probably be balding.
Is that really? Is it happening that fast?
I don't know. I'm not really sure.
I don't know. I'm starting to get gray hair on the side.
Like 2 years ago, my hair was just like yours.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and now it's starting to recede a little bit.
Wow. Well,
whatever.
Who knows? My dad has like amazing hair, and he's like 67 now or 66.
Nice.
It's been a great interview. I feel like we've touched so many. No, I feel like we've touched so many subjects. I felt like there was so many. I mean, we learned so much about you, Brad. I'd love to have you on again.
Sure.
This was a lot of fun. Thanks everybody for watching. So let's talk about, before we go, so we can soundbite this or clip it or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
What are the shows that we need to go to, and what are your social and all your social media stuff? Just tell everybody.
So every Thursday at 8:30 at Brogan's Restaurant in Langley, we have open mic, show up and go up, and we do fun things in between. Today we are having one of the comics put on a uniform that I brought, and he's going to go into the bathroom right before his set, throw on all the gear, and come out, and the crowd's going to pick what his job title was, and then he's going to do 5 minutes on whatever we pick. That was his job today, and he's going to tell us about his day.
There you go.
That's going to be fun.
Yeah.
Kind of over-explaining it, but it's just fun stuff to do. Then Tuesday, March 21st, we have a show at the Rendezvous Restaurant in Langley, Rendezvous Pub, in Langley at 8:30 at night, and that's got some cool local pros on it and local comics, Vancouver comics, and that's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah, my social media is Bradley Jokes on everything. BRADLEE Jokes, JOKES.
Love it. I'm Plan_Z. I've been Adam Zed. Bradley has been my fabulous, the brave and powerful Bradley has been my guest today. Join me, Plan_Z. We'll post the social media stuff. Much love, everybody. Much love.
That was easy.